Quasi here, and in today's video, I want to share with you how to make the best decision all the time. I want to share with you what my decision-making process is and has been, and what's really led me to building a seven-figure business, doing the thing that I love to do every single day, and always just seeming to take the right path. Now, by the end of this video, you're going to learn the two biggest criteria that I use to always make the right decisions and why it's not really what you think it is. Okay, so stick around to the very end of this. I think this will be super helpful for you. Without further delay, let's go right ahead and get started. Now, decision making has been a problem for a lot of people. People just can't make decisions, and I couldn't make decisions. I would have to think and overthink and just keep thinking about it and analyzing every little thing before I jumped in and made a decision. But the problem isn't making the decision itself, but the place from which the decision comes. If you overthink and try to juggle everything, all of the chess pieces before you make a decision, it really shows that there is a lot of importance on this decision. There's a lot riding on it. You're putting too much meaning to this decision. Whenever you put too much meaning onto anything, there will always be hidden resistances that you build up that'll start to act against you. So anytime in your life you see any obstacle arising, it isn't the obstacle that's there, but it's the importance to the thing that you want that's causing the obstacle that's there. If you simply reduce your importance, you'll see that the obstacle itself will just evaporate, right? So anytime you see an obstacle in your life, don't try to tackle the obstacle directly, rather tackle it indirectly by reducing the importance behind it and then doing what's necessary. Okay, so that really leads me to decision making and how to make the best ones. So what I want you to know is that there is no such thing as a right or wrong decision. So please think about this. There is no such thing as a right decision and a wrong decision. The mind just likes to invent the idea that, oh yes, there is a right decision and there is a wrong decision. If I make the wrong decision, I'm going to die. That's just the mind's idea of it. But in the grand scheme of things, there are no steps backwards, right? There is no forward step, there's no backwards step. There's only forward steps, right? So with that being said, there is no such thing as a right or wrong decision. The only wrong decision that I've found is indecision. When you don't make a decision at all and you hesitate, it's better to make any decision than to make none. Okay? So this leads me to a quote that I read in a book. I think it's from Napoleon Hill from Outwitting the Devil. But he mentions how a weak plan executed with definiteness will always trump a strong plan executed with indefiniteness. So please ponder on this. A weak plan executed with definiteness will always trump a strong plan executed with indefiniteness. This essentially goes to show that even if you were to have a weak plan and you were unsure, but you still went in full force with full commitment, you would still come out of it with success. Whereas if you had a really strong plan, but you executed it poorly with no certainty, no conviction, you still wouldn't be successful. And unfortunately, that's a lot of what we're seeing, right? The same information is available to all of us, to most of us, right? Like the internet is pretty much available to everyone, but only certain people are coming out of it successful. Like all of these people that are coming up with online businesses and other people that just can't do it, they wallow in pity and excuses, while the ones who do become successful just go out and do it. They just, they might not be the most privileged most of the times. I'm seeing we have so many people from third world countries, kids from third world countries in our program who are just absolutely crushing it, doing 10, 20, 30K a month in their businesses. And they have had less opportunity than we have, right? And, they're making it because they have that definiteness of purpose. So that's the thing between successful and unsuccessful people. People who make good decisions and people who make bad decisions, right? The ones who make good decisions because of the quality of their decision making, because of the intention that they have behind their decisions. There is a strong will. There is a strong commitment to making these decisions. So because of that, because of this definiteness of purpose that they have behind their decisions, the wrong decision that may look like a wrong decision in the moment inevitably leads them to the right path. Okay? So it's never the decision, but the intention and the meaning that you put behind the decision. The, quality of the attention, not the decision itself. So that's the number one criteria to making a good decision. Whatever you choose to do, make sure you commit to it fully. For example, if you're stuck between different business opportunities and you've been wondering like, oh, which one do I pick? Do I pick e-commerce? Do I pick like drop shipping? And do I pick Amazon FBA? Do I pick coaching? What do I pick? Ask yourself, which one of them comes out to you the most, and whichever you do end up picking, go into it fully and come out of it with actual feedback, with proper feedback, with enough time. Because whatever feedback you do get from that failed experiment, it might seem failed, will still be valuable feedback for you, for the future, for your future endeavors. Okay? So this is how you think like a successful business owner. This kind of thinking allowed me to become successful in my business, right? I've always thought about it as, okay, well, I'm going to spend some money on this tactic and that, and like 4 or 5 different things, and let's see which one sticks. Right? This is what successful business owners, this is how they think. If Jeff Bezos, look at him. In Amazon, he would spend billions of dollars on tactics, on new projects that would just fail. It would just completely fail. But the 1 or 2 that did succeed is what made Amazon what it is today. Right? Like the Kindle, Amazon Cloud Services. It's what made Amazon what it is today. They started as a damn bookstore, right? Now they're doing all this different stuff. So don't be afraid to experiment. And if you do experiment, go all in on it. That's the kind of perspective, that's the kind of mindset you should have, that you need to have in order to be successful. There needs to be a definiteness. Okay? So that's number 1. And number 2 is a very, very important one too, which is achieving coherence of heart and mind. So what you want to do before making a decision is to begin with the heart and how you feel about it, and then go to the mind and see what it thinks about it, and then end with the heart and what it feels about it. So to give you an example, if I go back to the example of making money online or making money in general, let's say your desire is to make money. Now you have an idea of making money. The idea is, oh, well, I could steal money and I could, build some pyramid scheme or something, or like I could just rob stores. How do you feel? How does the heart feel about that? That's the first step, right? Going to the heart. How does it feel about that? The answer is an immediate no, right? The heart will always give you a strong no or a not no. It'll never tell you like yes, just initially. You'll know what's an absolute definite no and a maybe, but you won't know like, oh my God, yes, yet. So when you say, okay, well, make money, how could I do it? Steal. No. Make money, how could I do it? Sell cars. I could be a car salesman to make money. How does the heart feel about that? It's a not no. Maybe. Could be done. And then you ask, well, how about teaching kids? How does it feel about that? I could become a teacher to make money. Not no. Could be yes. Sounds pretty good. And then you go to the mind, right? So you begin with the heart and then you go to the mind. And you ask the mind, well, how does it feel about stealing? What are the pros and cons? What are the pros and cons to stealing? Let's think about this. Pros is you could make a lot of money real quick. And the cons is you could go to jail. Well, that's a definite no, right? Like that's not worth the risk. Because then you could never have a potential in the future to make money. So that's a definite no. And the other tool of the mind is projection, looking into the future, right? What happens 10 years from now if I steal? Not good things. So no to stealing. How about selling cars? Pros and cons, you list them out. How about projecting it 10 years out? 10 years out, would I still want to do this? Probably not. I could begin here, but I probably wouldn't want to do this 10 years from now, right? So that, again, goes to, when you project it, it goes to the heart. How do I feel about doing this 10 years from now? No. So that's a no. How about teaching kids? Pros and cons, done. Okay, yeah, the pros outweigh the cons. Okay, this passes. How about 10 years from now? Could I see myself teaching kids? Yes, absolutely. This is very fulfilling. Then yep, that's a good way to make money and still be fulfilled with what you're doing. Right? So that's how I've made a decision in my business. I've always looked at it as, how do I feel about this? How do I feel about this? So to give you an example of this, a concrete example of how I used it recently in my business is looking at different marketing strategies. I've realized, okay, well, right now we need to plug the marketing hole. We need more leads to come in and we need to plug in the marketing hole. How could I do it? Well, I could do all of the, marketing things people are doing, like all the shouty, jumpy things, but it didn't resonate with me. It was a definite no. I'm like, oh, I don't want to do that gimmicky stuff where people just try their best to peddle something right now. I want to build a business that's actually legit, So how could I do that? Well, there's this other strategy that I could try that isn't quite as markety and gimmicky, but it's actually providing genuine value, which is along the lines of what I share on this channel. So that's something I could do. And how do I feel about that? Well, I feel good about that. So let's go for that. And then you do the pros and cons, and then you come to it at the end, like 10 years from now, would I still be doing this? Would this strategy still be fruitful? Would I still be doing it? Yeah, I could still be doing that. But 10 years from now, I couldn't see myself doing gimmicky, markety, shouting stuff. So why would I do that? I couldn't even see myself doing it now, right? So in the short term, if money isn't a concern, you don't need to sell your soul. Unless you had to, you were in real emergency, then only then you would consider acting out of scarcity, right? So always think about it as, if I had everything, how would I act? If I were already whole and complete, how would I act? And then your reality will catch up. So with that, I conclude this video. I hope this was insightful for you. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you thought of this, if you want me to make more quick ones like this. But to conclude, the two main ideas we talked about in this video was, first of all, how to make decisions. And the best way to make a decision is to make any decision, not to overthink things. And number two, having heart and mind coherence. Your heart and your mind are on the same page with this. You begin with the heart, then you go to the mind, and then you end with the heart, right? So let me know what you thought of this, if this was helpful, beneficial for you, if you learned something new. Let me know what your biggest takeaway was from this video. If you'd like me to make videos about any topics that you have in mind, you want me to speak about, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear your ideas. And also, if you'd like to work closer together with me and my team in the Reality Mastery Program to see if we can take your life to the next level, click on the link in the description below to sign up for a free consultation call with us to see if it's a good fit. Who we typically work with are business owners or entrepreneurs who want to scale their businesses, and they see that they don't have a tactical or strategic problem. They have a mindset problem. They have an internal blockage that's starting to show up in their businesses. And they know that they have an internal blockage because they've tried all the tactics and strategies. They're intelligent. They know that they can do it, but this internal limitation keeps showing up at every single juncture in their lives. Okay, if that sounds like you, you want to scale up, you want to solve the internal problem, click on the link in the description below. Let's see if we can help you out. The free Facebook group is open for you to take advantage of. The link for that is also in the description. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Till next time. Peace.